Throughout human civilization, man has struggled to manage its waste efficiently as possible. New Zealand is situated in the southern hemisphere. This small volcanic country has extraordinary features. New Zealand has always been praised and respected for its outlook and environmental policies. Throughout history, New Zealanders have enjoyed a unique bond with nature, having the same land area as Britain and Japan, with a population difference of 60 and 100 million. When Captain James Cook in November 1769 sailed into the Firth of Thames, little did he imagine that from the wilderness of forests, fern and shrubs extending from the western coastline to the shores of the Manukau harbour would in future years emerge a city. Auckland, city of sails. With a population of 1 million plus, Auckland is one of the busiest and densely populated cities in New Zealand. Population increase has a direct effect on waste generated per household. Despite the clean green image, New Zealand produces about 400 kilograms of residential wastes per person per year, plus a further 500 kilograms of industrial waste. Of the 4 major cities in the Auckland region, Manukau, with 7 wards and a population of 307,000, produces the second highest quantities of waste. Manukau Council is bound under legislature to produce a waste management plan outlining how it manages waste throughout Manukau City. New Zealand is 4 million and counting. In effect, threatening the clean green image of Middle Earth. Formed in 1877, Manukau Council has contributed significantly to reduce rubbish and keep the city clean and environmentally friendly.
I would say that New Zealand has a pretty much homegrown system, and it's developed by New Zealanders for New Zealanders. I know that sounds a bit of a cliche, but I think that actually is the truth. And I think New Zealand tends to be a bit unique too, because we already have the clean green image, so you don't have to sell that to a great extent. For Manukau, we believe in monitoring. By monitoring over a long period of time and setting ourselves goals which are not short-term goals, long-term goals, actually see whether we're being successful. One of our objectives is to reduce waste by 20% by 2010. We're on the right track. At the moment, we're in our first year of developing the education programme. It's run through a community fund. At the same time, we're also looking at the development of environmental education centres, which are not limited to waste, all environmental studies. Although Manukau City Council isn't actively involved in that, we support it.
The Kiwi passion for life beyond the quarter acre reflects strongly in its shopping centres.
I'm the retail manager for Total Property Services. It means I manage this site. I also manage Manukau and several other sites in the area as well. All the maintenance, cleaning, up to the water blasting, and some sites air conditioning, abseiling, etc. Botany is 5 times the size. Yeah, Botany's only 2.5 years old. Manukau's 5 years old. My team work with the security team, which is a different contract, and it's like one big family. Everybody looks after everybody else. What motivates me to do it every day? I enjoy my job, I do. I enjoy the people I work with. I have good relationships with other managements here, so yeah, it's fun too sometimes. We do have fun. If I'm having a tough day, generally what I do is I go out on the rubbish run and join those guys, because it's out of the office, you do get to have fun out there, and that's what I do.
2 of the busiest shopping centres in Manukau City are a testament to the Kiwi way of life. Botany Town Centre experienced the village atmosphere. Over 150 stores, including cafes, restaurants, boutiques and department stores.
I got here about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just come over there, scrub the floors and polish the floors and all that. Oh, well, to me and my workmate, they like the job, you know. But the only problem with them and myself is to get up early every day, early morning.
We look after just the outside. We don't do any of the inside work. We look after the footpaths, all on the roadways, all the difficult things that no one else seems to want to do. Okay, well, what we're doing here is giving all these walls a wash down. It's quite important that we don't do a hard water blast on them. So we go through and we do a chemical spray. Up the top here this morning we got up, we ran a safety line for the full length, put the harness on, you can see in the back of the van there, and Tony went up this big extension pole here, will go to 3 times that length, so I just manoeuvred the hose while Tony just ran along with his harness on the safety rope up there, and you can see how clean that's come up. The same thing underneath, we just run through with the little sprayer that you saw, we put a softening detergent on, and the big cleaning machine here, it's low pressure superheated water, so it's not really water blasting, it's very, very gentle on the buildings, and it really, unless it's paint, it'll bring them up just to look like new. I think we've come a huge distance. There's a great awareness for everybody to have things looking nice and to be responsible. We've recently developed special systems for picking up water if there's dirty water or oil or service station, where we can run it through, purify it so that it's not going into the drains dirty. That was a major for us. But we find that the shop owners and the property managers of big places like this, they're very, very conscious of how things look. There's a lot of competition out there, and we feel that we're a really important part of the whole system to keep it looking nice.
In terms of difficulty, the guys require a high standard, because basically when it was built to a high standard, and we have to maintain the image for Botany Downs, or assist in maintaining the image, and that image is paramount because the fact that Botany Downs is here, it looks good, it's humming, is what draws people to it, and we have to maintain the fact that people come here by keeping it clean. If it was dirty, horrible and rubbish everywhere, then people would avoid it pretty much like the plague. So we have to keep it in pristine condition.
And you feel good about it?
We like to do a good job. We like to make sure the job's done properly, and it's good to walk away from something and you know that you've done the best you can, and you get compliments from the people that you work for.
Botany Down Centre, I think it's lovely. It's lovely and bright, and it's a new innovation on malls in New Zealand. Usually you're stuck inside, and it's lovely to be out here in the sunshine. I only see the guys who have the little brooms and their dustpans, and they keep the little bits of trash on the ground away, but I don't actually see the steam cleaning that must go on, because the place is always so nice and clean.
We always find it very, very clean.
I don't think we need to see it being cleaned. I think we need to see it clean. And if it's not clean, then you're not happy and you don't shop there.
I don't think I've seen anybody cleaning here, but it's always very clean, so they must come around. They must be around.
Think about them if they weren't here. If I saw the dirt, then I'd think about them then, but I don't think about them now when it's clean.
I think it's really beautiful, and the cleaners and garden people take good care of the areas. I think that they're really good for what they do, because it's not a glamorous job, and you know, people probably think, oh, they're just a cleaner, but you know, someone's got to do it, so yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm here and I work here, meet the people over here, different people, and I like work here for somebody help me. Different man girl work, only me, only man girl walk around over here, drive the car, pick up the rubbish.
We dispose of all the shop waste and we separate stuff out. Okay, so we recycle all the cardboard and the paper and stuff like that.
We come in, collect the box over here and a rubbish bag over here. Yeah, it's my job.
Manukau Supercentre.
my day consists of me getting here early, picking all the rubbish that's been dropped from the previous day, and going to clean the toilets and everything. But that's the most dangerous thing, is making sure you don't pick up anything that's got blood on it that, you know, you've got a cut on your hand and you could get infected by it.
I think he does a marvellous job. It's beautiful and clean.
The cleaning industry now has got the new stuff, got the new microfiber, they call it. Seem to leave a smell in there when they go. Or they block up the little sink that's in there with toilet paper. This is just the light general. You've got a heavy, and then you've got a general one, which is one you can use anywhere.
Well, if they don't see him, I don't think they don't know or appreciate him if they don't see him.
It's good stuff. Good smell too. Till the next lot come in and make a mess of it again. Then you've got to start all over again. It's part of the job. I think you've got to really work into this sort of job because, you know, dealing with the public always around you, they're either watching you or you're sort of trying to get past them to get the rubbish and whatnot. Sometimes I think some people sort of look down on the cleaner, like, you know, he's a bit lower than the normal sort of working guy. I've got quite a bit of pride in my job. I like my job. And, well, it's a big place too. You know, it's just me here. But it's the same thing. Job's got to be done. Botany, I think you get more of a workload over there. But then the people over there seem to be different. They seem to not throw rubbish around so much, you know. And out here in Manukau, well, it's like a free-for-all. Take the wrap off, biff it, and drive on or walk on. Some of the shop assistants and whatnot around here, I get to know them pretty well. Sort of, we all sort of work together. You get to know them, they are. Sort of takes a while for you to build up with them. But after a while, you see them come in the morning, you know, good morning, g'day, how you going?
I think they don't probably get as much credit as they should. Like, you always see them in the mornings going around with the broom and just silently getting on with their job. They take a lot of pride in their job. Like, they're always, you know, picking up those cigarette butts and stuff in the gardens, and a lot of things that we wouldn't like to do, but they just do it, and it's not often they get a lot of praise for it.
Plus some of the boys over at the food court and that, see, over break with them, get on really well with them. Yeah. I've had a few of them come up to me and say that, you know.
Deserve a great deal of respect and seem to do a reasonably good job.
Never thought about them.
It's looking very clean.
But
today,
it is clean,
yes.
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Keep up the good work. People might ignore you, but your results speak for themselves.
But not the young ones, mostly the older people, you know, that don't sort of like things mucked up or whatever. You know, they sort of like places clean and tidy, you know. Well, so it should be.
When you look around, it's not too bad. You've got to not worry about the guys that keep it clean. It's train the people to use the bins.
Now, people will go in there, they'll buy a box of shoes, right? When they've come outside, they're eating their burgers and that, and they drop their drink and whatnot. The mother comes out with this kid and goes, just do it there. And the kid just went, but. And he just looks at me and like, you know, I'm from another world, and goes, mate, I'm keeping you on a job, and just walked off. Put it in a box, wrap it up. A minute later, they're outside and they're pulling it all out and throwing the rubbish on the ground box and everything, and they're putting the shoes on and leaving the old shoes maybe sitting on the seat or behind the pole there. I've got to get a mop bucket, clean it up because Mum said do it there, and the kid done it there. Terrible way of doing things, eh? Well, maybe we could help with putting a bit more signs around about littering. And the other thing is that you'll have to start at a younger age to sort of tell the kids, you know, that you just can't go along and buy something and unwrap it and eat it and then throw the wrapper away and just walk on again. So it sort of has to come from parents or people that are a bit older, maybe even in schools. I like the job anyway. You know, like out here, even though I've got a boss, I still keep in contact with her on the phone and everything, and if she wants something for me to do, well, she'll just ring me up and tells me what I've got to do and I'll go and do it. Just get in and do the job because no one else is going to do it. So it's me to do it, so I do it.
I think people need to open their eyes and appreciate how hard people work doing the job. I think there needs to be a bit more respect for the general person that they see walking around, definitely. You know, they have feelings as well and they take a lot of pride in their work, they really do. So I think, yeah, the general public need to step out of their square boxes.
Manukau Council provides a weekly rubbish collection for all households in the city. The regular household collection already trucks 90,000 tonnes of rubbish to the landfills each year at the cost of more than $10 million.
I start at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the road by about 5:45 and then actually pick up my first bin at 6 o'clock on the dot.
Well, I run the company, but I get there about 5:45, 6 o'clock.
It usually takes us an average of about 4 hours to do a load, and so we do 2 loads a day, so it's usually about an 8-9 hour day in total. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's just the mornings I have trouble with getting up, but after a while you get used to that.
Sort of each day is different. Okay. Yeah, it's not mundane like it can be. Okay. And the job's over in about 4 hours, 5 hours, so you know, it's a pretty good job.
Yeah, we do different runs different runs on different days of the week. So we spread it out through the whole of Central Auckland, for most of Central Auckland anyway.
10 years in Manukau, right, just since '93. But I've done it in other places.
These trucks have been here for going on 2 years now. I've been in this one for about 1.5 years, straight from Germany. Yeah, awesome trucks to drive, just love it. Yeah, very. I've never felt comfort before until I jumped into one of these. Well, these trucks here, you might as well say self-run. Compared to the other trucks, you had leaks everywhere. You had to do weights just to steer the thing, because they had no power steering in it, and it was just freezing. We had around about, it was as if you were going skiing, you know, it would be just so cold, nothing would work except for the arm itself, but these trucks here just are awesome to drive. I'm just wrapped on it. Some days we have our runners, especially when we head mostly into the heart of town like Ponsonby. That's when only some of our trucks get runners. But most of the time, yeah, it's just a one-man band, hence the name One Arm Bandit. Just just one person out there going hard by themselves. Yep. We get a lot of them tipped over. Sometimes it's like the wind could pick up, or sometimes you might get a drunken bum walking past and just knocking them over. But yeah, if the bin's over, we have to go and pick them up. And if a bin's behind the car, we have to get out and move them so we can grab them. The operation of the arm itself is quite simple. It's a 2.5 meter long arm. Basically, just about grab the bin, no matter how far away from the curbside it is. We can get closer to the cars and the curbsides because of the cameras.
which gives us a better view. The front of the truck looks like a big bus. It gives us a better view of the overall, how close and how far away of the cars we actually are.
These guys out the back, well, they just run for us. They just pick up the rubbish, put it in the back. They work the compact of the machine, and virtually that's all. Once the truck's loaded, I usually drop them back at their car, which is on the way to the tip. They go and have something to eat and that. And it usually takes me an hour and a half to get back, and then we start the second load. Well, when we started this company, a lot of these guys have been with us for a while, like Adam, the ginger-headed guy out there. He's been with us for since we started, 10 years. Oh, he had a break, he went to Australia for a while, but then he came back. We're sort of pretty family orientated firm, eh? We try and, the guys that have been good to us, we try and keep the family, you know, if they've got a son or something coming up, we hire them and that. Oh, yeah, we've had them catch fire on us, these trailers. Yeah, they get a lot of chemicals. People put chemicals or hot embers out of fires. They put them in a rubbish bag and they just smoulder. Then you put them in the back of one of these and they compact and catch fire. And now you just got to drop the rubbish on the road, because once it burns the hydraulic hoses you can't get the rubbish out. Oh, a lot of them do it because they play sport. Oh shit, hang on mate, there's just some late bags down here. See, things like this brass you off, eh? I did the street this morning and people just put the bags out, so most of them are pretty good, but a lot of them abuse the system, you know. Instead of just having household rubbish out, they put grass and stuff like that, and a lot of them abuse the system. Like, look at some of these houses here, look how many bags some of them have got outside, you know. There's no way you go through that much rubbish in a week. Most of these guys really enjoy this job, eh? They wouldn't do anything else. Sort of got to try and keep on an even keel in this job, because otherwise it gets to you after a while, and quite enjoy this job, so I get paid well for it. Yeah, and I mean, I've worked at a lot of different jobs, you know, and this job's about one of the easiest. It's experience, eh? The longer you do it, the better you get at it. Yeah. Like, some of these guys never get cut, and then you get the odd guy that gets cut all the time. You can find a lot of people that are accident prone don't stay in this job very long. Yeah, but we have had some nasty accidents, eh? We've had a few bad cuts with glass and that in the bags, and we've had a couple of guys hit by cars, but no one's died as yet.
Oh, definitely is. When I was running in my running days, yep, we used to always get cut legs, because we used to always pick up bags, and when you're running down the road with some bags and your arms are swinging, sometimes they used to have sharp objects going out and used to cut your legs, probably sharp things as you go and put your hand over to grab the bags. So yeah, the runners that are actually handling the rubbish here, a lot of danger in that. When I was running, we didn't have no safety gears. It was just shorts and shoes and you're out there. Nowadays I see all these runners with gloves and all that, which is real good now, because a lot of our runners used to get infections like hepatitis and all of that, yeah. And just lately in the last 6 years, they're starting to get quite strict on runners itself, you know, all the safety gears and everything. So yeah, the runners out there, a lot of people with hands on rubbish, yeah, it's real dangerous out there.
Yeah, I'm Sean Hippolyte. Well, Toby, Ray, Adam, Rob. I've been on this job for about 10 years now. Working here for a few years. About 10 years. 2 years. Good thing about this job is meeting a lot of people. And the thing I like about this job is the people and getting home early so I can see my kids. Difficult? Nah, it's just keeping fit. Oh, it could be difficult on rainy days, just cold and that. Just get chilly fingers and that. Got cut. Yeah? Yeah, 10 stitches. Oh, sweet, it's a good job.
Yes, well, he comes out every Monday when I do his run. Comes out, gives me a wave. Good gentleman.
He comes along and he puts the bins down quickly and things like that. He's always got a smile on his face when I see him anyway.
I get quite a few of those people coming out, waving out and grabbing their bins.
Just make sure that they follow the instructions and cancel by putting out the waves in the white bins and things like that. Makes their work easier, so we don't have keep on making landfills all the time.
But there are some real good people out there that do appreciate the work that we go through. Well, this truck here is legally allowed to hold up to 8.5 ton. Within that, it takes an average about 3.5 to 4 hours to load up a truck fully. So I think by this truck here can actually handle about 11 to 12 ton, but legally we're only allowed to carry 8.5. So you're just not allowed to go over our weight limit. We used to have one landfill up in Rosedale, which was quicker, but that's filled up now. And most of the landfills around Auckland are filling up real quickly. So the last one in the greatest of Auckland is Greenmount. So yeah, unfortunately that's the only one that we can go to. We're not allowed into transfer stations because it's our rubbish is too big, too much. So yep, we have to go out to the landfill, which is an inconvenience. Only because it spends us, when we used to go out to Rosedale to get out there and back, it used to take us 45 minutes. But now that we have to go to Greenmount, it takes us up to 1.5 hours to get there and back. Because most of the trucks now all go to Greenmount, and by the time we get there, there's just a massive queue of trucks ready to tip.
Landfilling is the primary method of disposal for solid waste in New Zealand. There are more than 100 landfill sites operating in New Zealand, taking over 3 million tonnes of rubbish each year. Manukau City hosts two of the region's landfills at Whitford and Greenmount. Landfills have existed since the early 1930s.
Got an order number?
4931.
Well, we start at 7:15. We open up the weighbridge at 7 o'clock. Staying over in Torbay, so basically it's an early start. And well, this is how it goes every day. Just make sure all their stuff is current and all that. And that's how we weigh them in, and on that side we weigh them out again. And all the different loads. Not everybody's got rubbish on. Some you've got clean fill, some you've got asbestos, some you've got demolition, some you've got hard fill, some you've got grit and screenings. It's all, each load basically has got its own, so you have to find out. So like these guys carting demolition all the time, so it's also basically you have to know what comes in and what goes where and all that. Oh, that's it.
At the moment in Manukau there's two landfills. There's the Greenmount landfill and there's Whitford landfill. They're consented for X amount of years. They have stringent requirements, and at the moment the Whitford landfill has a consent for the next 20 years. When that comes to an end, or it starts to get near the end of its period of time, they will review the factors, the more land to be developed, and they will apply for an extension of the consent or not. And they of course have height requirements and so forth. So I mean their monitoring and their record keeping will tell you whether it's reached the height and it should be at. The Greenmount landfill was due to close in 2003. But it hasn't actually reached its capacity, so it's applying for an extension. My understanding is at the moment for something between 3 and 5 years.
Usually I get here about 6:30 in the morning.
make sure that everything's running okay, and that the place is, all the machines are up and running, making sure the guys are here, and just basically try and get the tip running. That's basically me. And basically this is what it should look like when it's finished. This is our finished areas. Obviously it needs re-levelling and sorting out again. There's lots of dips and hollows. Just everywhere you look around here, it's landfill. When rubbish breaks down, it lets off a byproduct, which is methane. There's some white pipes over there. Those extract the methane gas. But the extraction of methane, we usually do in situ wells on the floor. Some are drilled, usually with a PVC pipe down at the bottom of the landfill and filled with scoria, and then they put a suction line into the pipe which extracts all the methane out of it. And the methane gets taken to a power station which is in the corner of the landfill, and that runs about 6 engines which generates power. This landfill's been here for, I think over 40-50 years. 5 years ago there was nothing here. This was all paddocks. The residents have moved forward. They've built right next to the landfill. I have to admit we do get a few complaints, but we try our hardest to accommodate them as best as we can. At the end of the day, these guys are actually got a good thing going. I mean, at the moment, some of them are very unhappy that they're living next to a landfill, but in 3 or 4 years' time, when this landfill's closed down, they're living next to a golf course. Everybody wins.
Early landfills were open pit dumps covered with dirt regularly to hide rubbish and cut down on pests and smell. A modern landfill is basically a large treatment facility. The main issues affecting the design of any landfill are the containment, control and management of leachate and gas, so that they do not result in unacceptable effects on the environment. Good landfill design requires control on the amount of water entering the landfill.
Basically the landfill's like a walnut. The bottom of the landfill is lined with, it's like a protection layer, so the leachate doesn't leak down past the liner into the groundwater. Okay, that's what you don't want to happen, so that's why they line the landfills. We put leachate drains all around the landfill, running to certain points where it's usually taken away to sewer or treated. Some landfills treat their leachate on site, some landfills get it taken away to sewage. Our life expectancy is for another 3 years. What they do is that they survey what the heights and how much they want to fill it in with, and then they calculate how fast you fill it. That coincides with the amount of rubbish coming in. It all sort of works hand in hand. Once we finish rubbish, I think there's probably about another 2 years of actual final capping and finishing off before it's handed back over to the ARC. How dangerous? The potential is there. I mean, it's dangerous. We get checkups every year. They've all got the protection gear on, they've got steel soles so they don't get nails through their foot. We make sure that everyone here is safe. That's one of the main concerns on the site, is that everybody looks after everybody else. Basically this is just the wheel wash. Wash the trucks when they come out. It sort of sprays a deodorant and a disinfectant over the trucks. and that's the result. That's the final result. 9.5 tonne of rubbish.
It's hard to get the average guy out there to realise just what a problem it can be or it could be to the future if they don't stop and think about it's more or less out of sight, out of mind, and it's trying to get people to just stop and think.
The shortage of consented landfill space in the Auckland region may become an issue around the turn of the century, as resource consents expire and present landfills close. Auckland is not getting rid of the rubbish problem by sending it to landfills. They are just leaving the problem for future generations. But the fact remains, we are all in this together.